A word about Thomas Putnam. He was a man with many grievances, at least one of which appears justified. Some time before his wife's brother-in-law, James Bailey, had been turned down as minister of Salem. Bailey had all the qualifications and a two-thirds vote into the bargain, but a faction stopped his acceptance for reasons that are not clear. Thomas Putnam was the eldest son of the richest man in the village. He had fought the Indians at Narragansett and was deeply interested in parish affairs. He had undoubtedly felt it poor payment that the village should so blatantly disregard his candidate for one of its more important offices, especially since he regarded himself as the intellectual superior of most of the people around him. His vindictive nature was demonstrated long before the witchcraft began. Another former Salem minister, George Burroughs, had had to borrow money to pay for his wife's funeral, and since the parish was remiss in his salary, he was soon bankrupt. Thomas and his brother John had Burroughs jailed for debts the man did not owe. The incident is important only in that Burroughs succeeded in becoming minister, where Bailey, the Thomas Putnam's brother-in-law, had been rejected. The motif of resentment is clear here. Thomas Putnam felt that his own name and the honor of his family had been smirched by the village, and he meant to right matters however he could. Another reason to believe him a deeply embittered man was his attempt to break his father's will, which left a disproportionate amount to his stepbrother. As with every other public cause in which he tried to force his way, he failed in this. So it is not surprising to find that so many accusations against people are in the handwriting of Thomas Putnam, or that his name is so often found as a witness corroborating the supernatural testimony, or that his daughter led the crying out at the most opportune junctures of the trials, especially when, but we'll speak of that when we come to it.
Anne, tell Mr. Paris what you have done.
Reverend Paris, I have laid 7 babies unbaptized in the earth. And now, this year, my Ruth, my only, I saw her turning strange. A secret child she has become this year, and shrivels like a sucking mouth. We're pulling on her life, too. And so I thought to send her to your Tituba.
Tituba? What may
Tituba knows how to speak to the dead, Mr. Paris.
Oh, dear Anne, it is a formidable sin to conjure up the dead.
I take it on my soul. But who else may surely tell us what person murdered my babies?
Woman.
They were murdered, Mr. Paris. And mark this proof. Mark it. Last night, my Ruth were ever so close to their little spirits. I know it, sir. For how else is she struck dumb now except some power of darkness would stop her mouth? It is a marvelous sign, Mr. Paris. Don't you understand it, sir? There is a murdering witch among us, bound to keep herself in the dark. You cannot blink it more.
Then you were conjuring spirits last night, Abigail.
Not I, sir. Did you and Ruth?
Oh, my poor Betty. Abigail, what proper payment for my charity? Now I am undone.
You are not undone. You take hold here. Wait for no one to charge you. Declare it yourself. But you strike out against the devil and the village will bless you for it. Come down. Speak to them. Pray with them. They're waiting for your word, mister. Surely you'll pray with them.
I'll lead them in a psalm, but let you say nothing of witchcraft yet. I will not discuss it. The cause is yet unknown. I've had enough contention since I came. I want no more.
Now listen, Mary Water and Mercy Lewis. If they be questioning us, tell them we danced. I told my uncle as much already.
Why? And what more?
He knows Tituba come that Ruth's sisters to come out of the grave.
And what more?
He saw you naked.
Oh, good Jesus.
But what do we do? The whole country's talking witchcraft. They'll be calling us witches, Abby.
She means to tell me.
Abby, we've got to tell. Witches are hanging error. Hanging like they done in Boston 2 years ago. We must tell the truth, Abby. You'll only be whipped for dancing and the other things.
Oh, we'll be whipped.
I never done none of it, Abby. I only love.
Oh, you're a great one for looking, aren't you, Mary Ward? What a plan. People encourage you.
Now, Betty, dear, wake up now. It's Abigail. I'll beat you, Betty. My, you seem improving. I talked to your papa and I told him everything, so there's nothing to... Betty,
My mama!
what ails you, Betty? Your mama's dead and buried.
I'll slaughter mama. Let me.
I told him everything. He knows now. He knows everything. You drank blood, Abby. You
You never say that again. You will never. You did. You drank a charm to kill John Proctor's friend. You drank a charm to kill Goody Proctor. Look, you, all of you, we danced and Tituba conjured with Putnam's dead sisters, and that is all. And mark this, let either of you breathe a word or the edge of a word about the other things, and I will come to you in the black of some terrible night, and I will bring a pointy reckoning that will shatter you. You know I can do it. I saw Indians smash my dear parents' heads on the pillow next to mine, and I have seen some reddish work done at night, and I can make you wish you had never seen the sun go down. Now, Betty, sit up and stop this. What's going to happen? She's going to die. It's a sin to conjure. I say shut it, Mary Warren. Shut it. I was just going home, Mr. Proctor.
Be you foolish, Mary Warren? Be you deaf? I forbid you to leave the home, did I not?
I only come to see great doings in the world.
I'll show you great jewel on your ass one of these days. I'll get you home. My wife is waiting with your work.
I'd best be off, too. I have my roof to watch. Mrs. Putnam would want that. Good morning, Mr. Proctor.
Proctor was a farmer in his middle 30s. He need not have been a partisan of any faction in town, but there is evidence to suggest that he had a sharp and biting way with hypocrites. He was the kind of man, powerful of body, even-tempered, and not easily led, who cannot refuse support to partisans without drawing their deepest resentment. In Proctor's presence, a fool felt his foolishness instantly, and a Proctor is always marked for calumny therefore. But as we shall see, the steady manner he displays does not spring from an untroubled soul. He is a sinner, and a sinner not only against the moral fashion of the time, but against his own vision of decent conduct. These people had no ritual for the washing away of sins. It is another trait we inherited from them, and it has helped to discipline us as well as to breed hypocrisy among us. Proctor, respected and even feared in Salem, has come to regard himself as a kind of fraud, but no hint of this has yet appeared on the surface, and as he enters from the crowded parlor below it as a man in his prime, we see, with a quiet confidence and an unexpressed hidden force, Mary Warren, his servant, can barely speak for embarrassment and fear.
I'd almost forgot how strong you are, John Proctor.
What's this mischief here? The town's mumbling witchcraft.
Oh, Posh. We were dancing in the woods last night. My uncle leaped in on us. Betty took fright his arm.
Oh, you're wicked yet, aren't you? You'll be clapped in the stocks before you're 20.
You come 5 miles to see a silly girl fly. I know you better than that, John Proctor.
I come to see what mischief your uncle's brewing now.
Give me a word, John, a soft word.
No, Abby, that's done with. Put it out of mind.
John, I am waiting for you every night.
Abby, I never give you hope to wait for me.
I have something better than hope, I think.
Abby, you put it out of mind. I'll not be coming for you more.
You're surely sporting with me.
You know me better.
I know how you clutched my bag behind your house and sweated like a stallion whenever I come near. Or did I dream that? It's she put me out. You cannot pretend it were you. I saw your face when she put me out, and you loved me then, and you do now.
Abby, that's a wild thing to say.
A wild thing may say wild things, but not so wild, I think. I have seen you since she put me out. I have seen your nights.
I have hardly stepped off my farm this 7 months.
I have a sense for heat, John, and yours has drawn me to my window, and I've seen you looking up, burning in your loneliness. Do you tell me you've never looked up at my window?
I may have looked up.
And you must. You are no wintry man. I know you, John. I know you. I cannot sleep for dreaming. I cannot dream, but I wake and walk about the house as though I'd find you coming through some door.
Child.
You call me child.
Abby, I may think of you softly from time to time, but I will cut off my hand before I'll ever reach for you again. Wipe it out of mind. We never touched Abby.
But we did.
But we did not.
Oh, I marvel how such a strong man may let such a sickly wife
You
be.
speak nothing of Elizabeth.
She is blackening my name in the village. She is telling lies about me. She's a cold, sniveling woman, and you bent her. Let her turn
Do
you
you
like
look
a...
for whipping? Huh?
I look for John Proctor that took me from my sleep and put knowledge in my heart. I never knew what pretense Salem was. I never knew the lying lessons I was taught by all these Christian women and their covenanted men. And now you bid me tear the light out of my eyes. I will not. I cannot. You loved me, John Proctor, and whatever sin it is, you love me yet. John, pity me. Pity me.
Going up to Jesus.
Sweet Jesus.
What's she doing? Girl, what ails you? Stop that wailing! Betty, what happened? What are you doing, girl? Betty!
The psalm! The psalm! She cannot bear to hear the Lord's name.
No, God forbid. Mercy, run to the doctor. Tell him what's happened here.
Mark it for a sign. Mark it.
That child is a notorious sign of witchcraft afoot, goody nurse. A prodigious sign.
Rebecca, let's go to her. We're lost. She suddenly cannot bear to hear the Lord's name.
gonna fly again? I hear she flies.
There's hard sickness here, John Corey, so please to keep the quiet.
And be quiet now. Sorry.
Betty.